Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So today I'm bringing you another example how everybody is you pushed out and how you can change circumstances around. So whether it's getting your ex back or moving your relationship forward, this story is going to have a great example in it and a technique that you can use to get past any sort of negative emotions and really get a jump start on getting your ex back or creating what you want. And it's also a great demonstration of how everyone is you pushed out. So before I get started, definitely subscribe if you haven't already and hit the bell icon below, because I do put out new videos every Wednesday and Sunday, each one of them designed to help you create something wonderful in your life. So I'm going to get started with the story, and to protect the privacy of the innocent and the confidentiality, I'm going to use the name Joe as my boyfriend, okay? So I was dating Joe for about a year, and I decided that it was time to take it to the next level and move in together. But I had this thought in the back of my mind, and it was that Joe isn't ever going to want to live with anybody. He's going to want to live alone, and that nobody is ever going to want to move in and live with me. And I was so scared that I was going to live alone for the rest of my life. And so I decided, though, even with those thoughts, that I would ask Joe to move in with me. And of course, Joe said no. He said he would never want to live with anybody. And I'm telling you, this devastated me. This made me so frustrated, upset, and angry. So much so that I kept asking and bringing up the subject, and I kept hearing no, no, no. In fact, at one point he said, no, it's never going to happen. Stop asking. So I was like, at one point, I was like, you know what? I'm like, either this happens or I end this relationship and I go find somebody else. And I even said that at one point. And of course, that didn't go over so well. So anyways, fast forward a few months. Finally, I decided, because every time I thought about it, it made me very angry. It made me so frustrated and so annoyed. And I said, you know what? I really need to change this. And so I thought, how do I change this? And all of a sudden, this thought came to me. It was like, Amanda, you know what? Your thoughts seriously create. Your thoughts create. You can turn this around. It's like, really, let's take a look at what we're thinking. And I thought to myself, it's so funny. I'm thinking, oh, he's never going to want to live with me. That's the resistance and block right there. And that he's never going to want to live with anybody. And no one's ever going to want to live with me. And I thought, and the fact that he said no, I mean, it's in stone. He's magically not going to change his mind. So, but then I thought, you know what? In my experience, I know that everything I'm experiencing today is a result of yesterday's thoughts, my previous thoughts. It's proven in quantum physics. I've got so much evidence of it as I've created so many wonderful things in my life. So I was like, well, how do I get past these blocks? And so then I was like, you know what? I'm like, I can take my complaints and turn them into positive intentions. So that's what I did. I said to myself, I intend for Joe to feel comfortable about moving in with me, and I intend for Joe to want to live with me, and I intend for me and Joe to live together, and I also intend for whatever's, Joe's not comfortable with, for Joe to do whatever he needs to do to feel comfortable with it. And then what happened is I kept saying that to myself. I created a mantra, and my mantra was, I intend for Joe and I to live together. So anytime it came up, and it did sort of randomly come up after I made these intentions, Joe just, said, and that's why we can't live together, because it would never work out. And so I would just say, okay. And then I would quietly say in my head, I intend for Joe and I to live together. I intend for Joe and I to live together. And I kept this up for about 2 weeks. Okay. And then at the end of that 2 weeks, right? So I let go of all the anger and all the frustration, and I just kept on with that mantra. I took all my complaints and turned them into positive intentions. And then I came up with a mantra. And then all of a sudden, one day at lunch, I was sitting there with Joe, and Joe says, Amanda, I think we should move in together now. And I was like, oh my goodness. And of course, you know what? I didn't ask what changed your mind. No, let's just leave it at that. You know what? I'm getting what I want, right? So the point of the story, right, is what I thought was being projected out there, okay? And my exact thoughts were showing right back to me. And then I was getting upset at them. And when I realized that, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm creating this myself. Because our thoughts actually create our emotions, which then will result in our actions, right? So the fact that I was thinking that Joe didn't want to live with me, and then I had the evidence, Joe said no, I mean, that really upset me. So I needed to let go of that and realize that him saying no was just a reflection of my previous thoughts. So if I've created that, then I can create something different. And how did I do that? I did that through creating new intentions and letting go of that old story. So changing the Joe doesn't want to live with anybody, nobody ever wants to live with me, and that those complaints, and turning them into positive intentions of Joe will live with me, Joe wants to live with me, etc., and keeping focused on them. And just by keeping focused on those positive intentions and letting go of what I've seen previously, it really did to help to bring the emotional level down with it, and it no longer, made me upset. Of course, there was that 2-week period where I had to keep reminding myself diligently of my intention. Every time I thought about it, or anytime Joe brought up that it was never going to happen, I had to sort of say, stop, Amanda, your thoughts create, and then recreate my intention in those moments. And yeah, it all worked out. And I ended up moving in with Joe, and everything's great. So that in a nutshell is a really good example how everyone is you pushed out, and your thoughts create how you feel, as well as everything that you're experiencing in this moment. Even if it's someone saying, no, I don't want to be with you, it can be changed as long as you change your thoughts and see that your thoughts created what you're experiencing now, so it can be changed. Anyways, that's my video for today. Tried to keep it as short as possible because it was quite a story. I hope that helps you. And please, if you got any comments or concerns, definitely write them in the comments below. Love to hear them. Any subject you'd like to see a video on, please definitely let me know. Anyways, thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. I love you all, and create something wonderful for yourselves because you really do deserve it. See you in the next video.